No nonsense gin drinking. All gin and a surprising amount of nonsense.
Hello gin lovers, welcome back. I'm Bobby Freeman. Today, my friends, we have a very exciting gin on the show for you. It goes by the name of Still Gin. Now, many of you might be wondering, well, that doesn't sound particularly special to me. It doesn't look particularly flamboyant, and I haven't even heard of it. Well, my friends, you may not have done, but this is actually another one in a list of celebrity gins I've featured recently, because this, my friends, is made by none other than Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. Now, some of my more diligent and loyal, long-standing fans will remember that I featured Snoop Dogg's previous gin, which is this little fellow over here, in Doggo Gin. And I love this. I really liked it. It was a super, let me smell it again actually. It was just going to treat myself to the, ooh, it's like a sort of a hit of everything good about strawberry. I really enjoyed that. It's technically a pink gin, although it's not actually pink. But the point is, I really enjoyed that. So I'm very much looking forward to this. I think it's just going to be a step away from the strawberryness. I think this is more of from what I read about it, it's more of a kind of a core gin. So this could be, up for a contender from one of my top spot of like absolute classic gins. So it's a shame actually I did the top 5 gins ever, but I'm getting ahead a bit. I'm getting a bit of, getting so far ahead of myself I can't actually get my words out. So I say, my friends, we fanny around no longer. Let's just crack on with it. However, I must just warn you that it's one of the first sort of lukewarmish days here in the UK. It's quite hot in my studio / living room here. So talking of pink gins, you might get a pink Freeman in it. So I'll try my best to reduce the pinkness, but I can't promise anything. So anyway, let's delve into the website, shall we? And of course, it's from America, this gin. It's an American gin. I think these guys are from New York, aren't they? My New York accent is, so. I can probably keep it up for about 12 seconds. So I think I'll just do my general American, my sort of what I call my newsreadery kind of voice. Defiantly smooth, ultra premium, pure bottled spirit. Legends Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg raise the bar with Still Gin, a bold new take on the classic spirit. Crafted using vacuum distillation, it delivers a crisper, fresher taste, as smooth and sophisticated as the icons behind it. Not like your average London dry gin, Still Gin is perfect for sipping neat, on the rocks, or mixed into your favorite cocktail. Vacuum distilled for a smooth and refined taste, infused with citrus, florals, and subtle spice. Perfectly balanced for sipping or mixing. All right, my friends, that sounds swell to me. I've gone a little bit kind of Texas now. That kind of happens when an English guy tries to do an American accent. After about, a few paragraphs, he turns into a cowboy, because that's what we think all Americans sound like. Yee-haw! Sorry about that, got a bit carried away there. I don't know, I always say about my accents are going to get me in trouble one day, but it's amazing, isn't it, how I'm totally confident that no one will be, worried or cause a fuss or be offended by me doing an American accent. I can't do, Indian, Japanese, Chinese, any African ones, but America's fine. I wonder what, I should try one day, do a varying sort of array of accents and see which one gets me banned, although that it would actually result in me being banned, so probably not a great idea. Right, I'd just like to pause the video for a brief second here, my friends, while I tell you about my lovely sponsors, ZBiotics. They are a pre-alcohol probiotic drink, which for me, it's kind of changed the whole way the way I drink. It was actually invented by PhD scientists just to tackle rough mornings after drinking. So when you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. And it's this byproduct, not dehydration, that is to blame for you feeling rough the next day. And then ZBiotics here produces an enzyme that breaks that byproduct down. And the good news is they're now offering 15% off if you click on the link below this video. So click on that link and get your ZBiotics today. All right, my friends, I say we fanny around no longer, like they say in the UK. Get the top off, get some down my mouth. That's what I'm talking about. So, my friends, let's get where's the glass? There's the glass. Let's get that here. Let's have a little sniff of this, shall we? Now, do we have a cork? It's hard to tell, isn't it? We do have a cork, so we know what that means, my friends. It's what's something that Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre say? Shizzle and something like shizzle and a nizzle. I don't know what a shizzle or a nizzle is, but let's say this is the shizzling nizzling cork test. Yeah, we'll go with that. The shizzling nizzling cork test. So, do we have a squeak? a gentle hum. I'm pretty sure that was my own thumb rubbing against the bottle. So we go straight for the full pull. Oh, not bad. A kind of a medium level pull. High notes and low notes making a sort of a tender baritone, I would say. But I don't really know what I'm talking about. But obviously it doesn't really matter anyway, does it? Whether I'm talking about anything I know about or not, because we all know it's just a bit of fun. Good Lord, that was a loud whack on the table, wasn't it? I think this is actually, solid metal or something. But anyway, oh my goodness. Oh, ho, 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 I can smell it already. Let's get it in the glass, but I tell you what, oh dear, it was a terrible dirty pour. I'm covered in gin, but I've been covered in worse things. So I can tell you now, oh, hell's bells. That's an expression I haven't heard since my mum said it in the 1980s. I tell you what, gin lovers. I mean, I don't even need to sort of sniff in the glass because there's some on the hand, there's some on the desk. It's kind of just, drizzled all over me, but I will go for the glass just to try and appear professional. Oh, it smells. Here's what it smells like. It smells, it's going to be a core gin, as we know. There's nothing sort of crazy. And we didn't really talk about that. Yes, we did talk about the flavours, the citrus and all that and everything, but there was nothing sort of out there and weird and wonderful. There was a very sort of heavy sort of strawberry kind of contingent in the previous one, in Doggo. But this one smells like what you'd expect a core gin to smell like, and then just turn everything up by about 30% or something. So you got massive... Oh God, heavy, kind of really thick and sort of bouncing about kind of citrusy sort of air. But the juniper is thick in there. It's kind of woven, whatever it is. It's kind of threaded in and with the citrus in there. And there's more kind of... it's more kind of on the orangey side. It's a great big whack. It's like a great big kind of citrusy, junipery punch up the nose, if you can imagine such a thing. So my friends, I say we tally this one up with a bit of tonic. We will be having it neat as well, because they said it's made to be going neat. They didn't actually mention tonic, did they? I'm not sure in America if gin and tonic is quite so popular as it here in the UK, but to remain scientific, like I always do on this show, I'm ever the scientist, I shall be trying it with the tonic and then neat. So yeah, let's do that now. So let's get the tonic. I've got a brand new bottle of tonic here, because I had my previous one. I think Narissa, I'm going to blame Narissa, she left the top not quite screwed on properly, so it had gone literally as flat as a fart, which is a strange expression, isn't it, really? Flat as a fart. I don't know if any other countries use that. Just let me know in the section below. But I've been unfortunate enough to catch the smell of a few farts in my short but colourful life, and never would I describe them as flat. I've said it before and I will say it again, you do not get that kind of content on other YouTube channels. Anyway, let's crack on and there's quite a bit in there actually, so I'll make I reckon that looks kind of good for me for our purposes. Anyway, thank you very much to, as I always say at this point in the show, to my patrons and my YouTube members who are literally paying for the gin on this show. You paid for this dark and mysterious looking bottle here, so thank you very much. The show wouldn't happen without you. Well, it would do, but it would probably cost me a lot more money. This is, my friends, Still Gin by Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. I say to every last one of you, cheers. Oh, oh, gin lovers. I tell you, we're having a good run at the moment of gins. That is bloody... Wow. Let me break it down for you. It's essentially does exactly what it did with the smell. It's a core gin, okay? It's a nice balance of the junipers and the corianders and the citruses, but the citruses are definitely kind of dominating. I think I read somewhere it's a kind of a tangerine kind of essence to it, which is interesting because usually people just say orange or a bergamot orange. What the hell's a bergamot orange anyway? Is it different to a normal orange? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm not here for the bergamots, okay? I'm here for the still gin. And it's kind of, hang on, let me have another confirmation slur. Actually, you know what? The juniper is unlike in the smell, the juniper's a slightly lighter edge. It's sort of a delicate, sort of floating, sort of lace-like, you know what I mean? Kind of a floaty sort of essence of juniper. And then those citruses are all dominating. It's like a sort of if the juniper is a light, lacy undergarment, stick with me on this, the citrus is a beautiful, flowing, velvety, orange coat, which is quite an image. Which is actually ironic because I can imagine Snoop Dogg turning up to a party in a long, velvety, orange coat. Can't imagine him taking it off and revealing a lacy number underneath. But you know, I don't know the man. I'm not gonna judge. But I tell you what, there is a very smooth kind of quality to it. It puts me in mind a little bit. I don't think I've got it anymore, have I? Oh yes, I have. The Highclere Castle gin, which is one of my best gins ever. Another very, very smooth gin, and I really, really like that. It's a kind of a tactile sort of quality to it rather than a flavoursome quality. But it's kind of like silk. A little bit gliding over the tongue, and I love silky stuff. I like silky labels in shirts. I like to rub them and stuff. Admittedly, I don't like to have them gliding across my tongue, but I think you know what I mean. And once again, it's an example of how a core gin with nothing particularly crazy going on it can still produce some originality. This is why I love gin so much. This is why I love it. It constantly. How many videos have I made? Hundreds of the damn things with gins, and I'm still being surprised. I'm still constantly surprised. So that, my friends, is an excellent gin. However, what's it going to be like neat? This is going to be interesting. Well, I'll tell you another thing that's interesting. My amazingly beautiful and high quality, no nonsense gin mug, of which you can have by clicking in the section below. Good Lord, can you imagine what that would be like to have one of those mugs? God, that would be great. Especially for me, because I make a very small amount of money on it. Anyway, let's get at in the old mug and try that. Oh! Oh! Blimey, I see what they mean. That is nice. Neat. I'm not a big neat gin drinker, as you know, but I tell you what, again, I'm going to be repeating myself here, but the citrus is really kind of accentuated. Sometimes I like, you know, I always say that the tonic unlocks flavours, and it does, but that works really, really well neat as well. It's kind of, the tangerine sort of oranginess sort of dances a little bit more, kind of just, and also doesn't dissipate quite as quickly. And I tell you what, it's a hot day today. I wish I'd kind of put it on the rocks, really, but see what you think, neat gin drinkers out there. But there's not many gins that sway me that way, but I'm kind of on the fence. I could have that either or, and that's it's quite something for me. Now, price-wise here in the UK, it is £38, which is a little bit more above my what I like to pay for gin, which is about £30. But I always make an exception from where they are not one of the big mainstream players. I push that up to £40, so it's £2 below it. So I would say that's a really, you know, because sometimes, you know, celebrity gins can, you know, they could just sort of push the price up to a ridiculous amount, and people kind of pay it because there's celebrity affiliation. So I really like that they've kept that below the £40 mark, and I'm happy to pay that every day of the week. And in fact, one day of the following week as well. So guys, to sum up, as I've said before, we've had a lot of celebrity gins recently, and it always is a little bit of, oh, you know, they just sort of lent their name to something that, you know, is a bit kind of mediocre. But genuinely, you know, I always tell the truth on this show. I'm always. My show is based on honesty. Otherwise, there'd be no point me being here. So this was a genuinely, and I know that certainly Snoop Dogg, I didn't know Dr. Dre was that into gin, but, you know, Snoop Dogg is always known for kind of liking gin, and he's had that previous gin as well. So you can tell that you can always tell when a gin has kind of love and passion kind of poured into it. A lot of thought has gone on and time was taken to make it, and this is definitely one of those. And I really, really love that. You know, it's not particularly, I like the fact it's not particularly flamboyant as well. It's rather sort of understated in a dark and sort of mottled bottle. But mottled bottle, that's quite a pleasing phrase to say, isn't it? I think if ever I open a pub, I shall call it the mottled bottle. But honestly guys, if you're wondering about this one, if you're thinking, oh, is it just another celebrity endorse, you know, sort of generic thing, it's definitely not. This was made with passion, it was made with love, and I think if you see this, and I'm sure it's going to be available many places with the reach these guys have got, definitely worth a place on your shelf. And of course, as always, don't forget to let me know what you think in the section below. So guys, I hope you found that useful today. Hope it was an informative insight into something you might be potentially trying. If that is the case, if you like this video, don't forget to, as always, to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to see more of a balding, red-faced man in a red shirt talking about gin, press the subscribe button. And if you want to support a balding, you know, pale, red-faced man in a red shirt talking about gin, head over to the Patreon page, or you can click the join button below this video to become one of my lovely YouTube members. But until next time, guys, you all know the drill. Take care, stay safe. Thank you to all my patrons and members, and of course, keep drinking the gin.